So today we're going to be working on the windows. When I got this project, neither side works, or at least that's what I was told. And I verified that they do in fact not work. On the driver's side, we have power to the window motor going up, and it stops, goes all down and stops, yet the window doesn't move. And on the passenger side, I'm not really sure what's going on in that side, but we'll address that another day. First, we're going to take the door panel off. Normally there's a screw right here. This door panel is broke. There's a screw in the door handle. There's 3 more screws, one here, and one over here. And then the rest is just clips, and it pops right out. The clips are relatively cheap. I recommend getting some before you pull everything apart because you will break some. So we're missing that screw. And there's a screw in here. Get all your screws out, you peel your clips off, and it should just slide straight up like that. When the door panel comes off, there's these clips in here. This one's already broke apparently, but this is for your lock actuation and your door actuation, and it's those plastic clips that break all the time. Just pop those out. And then over here, these are for your window switch, and this does like your mirror control and all that. You just want to disconnect those. Press down on 10. So at first glance here, I can see there's a couple things going on. Right here we have some what looks like baling wire holding up the window, and that's always good to see. And then we've got some parts laying in here. That's not good. All right, so next we are going to pull the window regulator out. Looks like the window is already wired up, so I'm not worried about duct taping up just yet. Normally you would take some tape up here at the top, around the top, to hold the window up, that way it doesn't fall. All right, so I did notice after looking at it again that the baling wire that's holding the window up is wrapped around the bolts that I need to take out. So what I'm going to do is, after I pull these bolts, I'm going to take the baling wire and wrap it around inside this bolt hole, and over here, maybe around in here or over here more, just so that I can keep using the baling wire to keep the window up, but I have to pull these bolts. Alright, so here's our door with our door panel removed. In order to remove the motor and regulator out of this 2-door, there's these 10 millimeters here. These are also 10 millimeter. This is a 10 millimeter. This here is a 10 millimeter. And then there's these 3 here that go to the motor. Then you gotta try to finagle it all out the hole. So something I did forget to mention is at the base of this window, right about here, there are actually some bolts that go through the window and the regulator. But mine obviously didn't have that because somebody had already jimmy rigged it with some baling wire. So we'll have to figure out what we're going to do there so that way it's able to go up and down. Alright, so it does look like the guide for the cable is broken. So we're going to have to get creative with a way to fix that. Today, I have my little man here helping me. He likes to work on Jeeps. You like working on Jeeps, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. You having fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Thinking to strengthen the structure of this here, I have this wire loom I'm going to wrap around it starting from here all the way back, and I'm going to use a file to put serrations in it a little bit to give it more strength, I think. We will see how it goes, and then I'll tie it all the way down with zip ties. So here's our broken piece. Right here is a part that goes in that cable. So here's a broken piece. This part here is actually a corkscrew piece that goes on top of the cable. It's all made out of plastic and it broke. I was able to find some replacement metal parts. This piece here comes from, I believe it's Steiger. I'll put a link in the description. But it is relatively simple after you've gotten this far at least. It comes with all your hardware that you need. It also comes with instructions. I printed these off the internet, which is on their website, but it does come with instructions in the box. It was folded up real tight in a ball, and I just found it easier to print out my own instructions with color. So, according to the instructions, we do everything we did so far. And then what we do is we drill out that rivet right there. And on the back side of this, we bend those tabs to pull the plastic piece off. And then on this bracket here, we cut even with this edge and drill out that rivet and then bolt that piece on in. After we get that far, I'll go over the next steps. Daddy needs it right now.
My tool?
Your tools? Mm-hmm. Daddy's using your drill right now?
Dad, I want to tell you something. Hey,
Yeah?
we work together with those rails.
Yeah?
We work together. Now I need a screwdriver. I need a screwdriver, please. I need a screwdriver. I need a screwdriver, please. I need a screwdriver, please, Daddy. Please, you give me a screwdriver.
What are you doing, bud?
I'm working on this tire.
You're working on this tire.
Yep.
You're doing a good job.
I'm doing my screwdriver.
You're a big help, aren't you?
Doing my screwdriver.
You with your screwdriver? All right.
And something else. And my what?
And your wrench. So this is our bracket here. Our next step, according to the instructions, is to mount the bracket here using the provided hardware. It does talk about making sure to put the bolt through from this side down. That way the head of the bolt is on the bracket side or the rail side. That way it provides for maximum rail clearance or window guide clearance. It wants you to pick all this fuzz out. You can do it with a wire wheel, or you can pick it out by hand, or however you need to do it. Pair of pliers, pair of tweezers. I slowly guided it on and screwed it on, and it pushed all the fuzz off.
Oh, you got 3 batteries? Oh, I have 3 batteries?
And now we need to put our little hole or a little hardware. We have this small hardware here that we need to put where we drilled out that little rivet. They do say that the bolt has to come up through to where the nut face is on the plastic and the bolt face is on the metal. That way we can avoid any clearance issues. Now we're all together. Alright, so installation is just reverse of teardown. Now because I'm missing some bolts, I did dig up some bolts, but I'm going to be extra careful because when you over torque the bolts on the window, it breaks windows. Works good. I'm extremely happy because I don't have to open my door at the drive-thru anymore.